What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs Series, round 11. And this is the final round of the Color Championship Series. And this was going to be the Lightweight Championship Series of the Color Division. But I decided to combine all the fighters into this one video. This is the salute to the African American fighter, Black Murderers Row, Color Champions, who came through the struggle of the scientific game of boxing. So I hope you enjoy. This is Bruce Flowers. He was born January 10th, 1905 in New Rochelle, New York. He died June 8th, 1970 in Hawthorne, New Jersey. He stood 5 foot 10 inches and weighed 140 to 148 pounds. He was a fascinating lightweight. Took them all on, but never got an opportunity to face the champion of the world. Jack McVeigh, awesome middleweight. Fought great fighters such as Harry Smith. Dynamite fighter. Salute to Jack McVeigh. Alan Walker. Fascinating colored heavyweight champion. Dynamite fighter. Battling Siki. He would become the light heavyweight champion of the world when he would defeat George Compartier. Fascinating fighter. Jack Blackburn. Dynamite lightweight. He fought Joe Gans, Joe Walcott. He was a trainer for the late great, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Fascinating fighter, fascinating trainer. Salute to Jack Blackburn. Harry Smith, fascinating middleweight. One of the greatest fighters of all time. He held the colored middleweight championship when he defeated Jack McVeigh. Lorenzo Strickland held the colored middleweight and the colored light heavyweight championship. Jack Warren, Dynamite, light heavyweight, fought in the 1920s, was a phenomenal fighter. Heavyweight Cecil Harris, fascinating fighter. He held the colored heavyweight championship, fought the great fighters of his time. Lee Anderson, colored light heavyweight champion. Harry Dooley, great fighter, bantamweight from California, known as the Speedball. Heavyweights, Sammy Baker, out of California. Fascinating fighter. Kid Cephas, born in Cuba, 5 foot 9, 146 pounds. He fight fighters such as Paul Doyle, Lynn Johnson, Joe Bloomfield, Jim Flowers, Ted Hoffman, Bushy Billy, and Frankie O'Brien. Fascinating fighter. Sylvester Cotton, George Kid Cotton, born March 22nd, 1883 in New Orleans. He died September 3rd, 1925 in New York. He stood 6 foot 1 inch, and he weighed 189 to 199 pounds. Fascinating fighter. George Kid Cotton. James Eugene Cameron. He was born April 26, 1885. He died October 17th, 1949. He stood 6 foot 2 inches and weighed 190 pounds. He would face fighters such as Manny Eddie Burns, Awesome fighter. James Eugene Cameron fought from 1908 to 1919. He fought fighters such as Young Jack Johnson, Harry Wills, and Sam Langford. Dynamic contribution. Joe Butler, born May 18th, 1866. Pennsylvania, stood 6 foot 1.5 inches, weighed 156 to 175 pounds. He was managed by Tom Milwaukee. He would win the Color Light Heavyweight Championship. He would fight fighters such as Frank Childs, George Godfrey, Peter Jackson, Joe Jeanette, just to name a few. Fascinating fighter was Joe Butler. Jack Trammell, 195-pound Ohio dynamite puncher. Black Pico from Puerto Rico. Awesome flyweight. Fantastic fighter. Larry Estridge, color middleweight champion. Dynamic fighter. James Battles, Tennessee, 195 pounds in the colored division. Fascinating fighter. Bobby Whitten, great two-fisted puncher. Santiago Esperanza, a very, very good fighter from Havana, Cuba. Lionel Gibbs, West Indies welterweight. Had great fights and training sessions with Coco Kid. And Charlie Burley, fascinating fighter. He was. Grace Honduras, a fascinating fighter and Slim Terror. He was an awesome lightweight. He used to fight at St. Nicholas Arena. Very good boxer. Billy Baker, very good lightweight. Well, I'll tell you, he had some great fighters at that time. Indian Tiger West, very good boxer. Very good middleweight. Victor Valdez, a.k.a. Victor Valley. Fascinating fighter. Fort Ponto Villa from Puerto Rico. He was a phenomenal featherweight. He trained Jerry Cooney. Outstanding fighter was Victor Valley. Flash Fisher, very good middleweight. He could punch. Puerto Rico, fascinating heavyweight. Chick Bog, very good welterweight. Buzz Barton, welterweight from Jamaica. Good fighter. Only lost 4 fights out of 100. Robert Brown, better known as Cuban Bobby Brown. Born 1905, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Died November 7th, 1929 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed 170 to 175 pounds, stood 6 foot. He would fight fighters such as Maxie Rosenblum. Rosenblum would become light heavyweight champion. Bud Gorman, Tiger Jack Payne, Homer Robson, Soldier Eddie Anderson, Gunboat Williams, Leon Dillon, Two-Ton Tony Galento, Jeff Smith, outstanding middleweight from New Jersey, battling Levinsky, turned out to be light heavyweight champion. The Barbados Demon, Joe Walcott, had a fighting record of 81, 25-30 with 48 knockouts. He held the title from 1901 to 1904. One of the greatest welterweight champions of all time. Barbados Demon, Joe Walcott. Dixie Kid, Aaron Lister Brown, born December 23rd, 1883, in Fulton, Mississippi. He died April 6, 1934 in Los Angeles, California. He stood 5 foot 8 inches and weighed 138 to 155 pounds. He was managed by Bill Jacobs. He fought fighters such as Al Neal, Joe Walcott, who took the welterweight championship title from, Larry Temple, Dave Harley, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien would become light heavyweight champion, young Peter Jackson, fascinating fighter, Jeff Clark, George Cole, colored welterweight champion, Sam Langford, Jimmy Clabley, Frank Martin, Mike Twin Sullivan, Bob Mohawk. Sam Langford will be the colored middleweight and the colored heavyweight champion. Fascinating achievement from Dixie Kid. George H. Cole, the Trenton T. Warmer. Born February 4th, 1874, Bordentown, New Jersey. He died February 17, 1923, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He stood 5 foot 7 inches and weighed 145 to 150 pounds. He was managed by Joe Butler. Joe Butler was the colored champion. George H. Cole would fight fighters such as Larry Temple, Joe Walcott, Frank Powers, Jack O'Brien, Jack Butler, Aaron Brown, Sam Langford, Joe Jeanette, Cyclone Kelly, Peter Jackson, Ed Smith, Black Dixie, just to name a few. Fascinating fighter was George H. Cole. Jeff Clark, Winlock Jefferson Clark, the Joplin Ghost, the Fighting Ghost. He was born June 28, 1886, Marsville, New Jersey. He died 1952 in Pleasantville, New Jersey. He stood 5 foot 11 inches and weighed 146 to 180 pounds. Fascinating fighter was Jeff Clark. Robert Bobby Dobbs, January 1868, Cartersville, Georgia. He died December 25th, 1930, Charleston, South Carolina. He stood 5 foot 8.5 inches and weighed 125 to 136 pounds. He was managed by Jack Shelley. Now he would fight fighters such as Will Hoopson, William Harvard, Black Pearl, Kick Dobbs, Aaron Shelley, Cyclone Jackson, Jack Casey, Andy Watson, Professor Briggs, California Jack O'Brien, Mike Donovan, Joe Walcott, Bob Long, Joe Gans, Dave Peters, Peter Brown, Spike Sullivan, young John L. Sullivan. Fascinating fighter was Bobby Dobbs. He could fight. Frank Craig, the Harlem Coffee Cooler. Fascinating fighter. He was born in Harlem, New York, April 1st, 1868, originally Columbus, Georgia. He died January 1946 in Chelsea, London, England. He stood 5 foot 10 inches and weighed 160 pounds. He was a colored middleweight champion of the world. Frank Craig, the Harlem Coffee Cooler. Battling Dozer, born Wichita, Kansas. He stood 5 foot 9 inches and weighed 143 to 164 pounds. He would fight fighters such as Tiger Jack Payne, Eddie Murdoch, Eddie Fox, Freddie Steele, King Tut, Young Firpo. Fascinating fighter was Battling Dozer. Danny Edwards, born July 1st, 1898, Oakland, California. He died May 17, 1959, in Oakland, California. He weighed 118 to 126 pounds and stood 5 foot 2 inches. Very good fighter was Danny Edwards. Panama Joe Gans, born November 14, 1896, Barbados, British West Indies. He died June 28, 1968, in New York. He stood 5 foot 9 inches. And he weighed 135 to 160 pounds. He would win the color and middleweight championship. Fascinating fighter was Panama Joe Gans. Baby Joe Gans, born December 4th, 1899, El Paso, Texas. Died May 6, 1970, Los Angeles, California. He stood 5 foot 6 inches and weighed 135 pounds. Baby Joe Gans was a fascinating fighter. He would win the color division as well. Leo One Punch Johnson. He would go back and forth. With Nobby Joe Gans and Harry Smith. Color title. William Ward, Kid Norfolk. Born July 10th, 1893. Norfolk, Virginia. He died April 15th, 1969 in New York. He stood 5 foot 10 inches and weighed 165 to 183 pounds. He would win the colored championship. He would hold that title back and forth. Great light heavyweight. Fascinating fighter. He and Lee Anderson had some great wars. Kid Norfolk. Kid Chocolate. Fascinating featherweight champion from Cuba. Dynamic fighter. Kid Chocolate. Black Bill. Fascinating fighter. You are looking at some of the greatest African American fighters that ever laced on a pair of gloves. Fascinating fighters. Black Bill. Chicago's Larry Johnson. They say he punched like a mule kick. Dynamic fighter. Leo One Punch Johnson. Younger brother of this great fighter, Larry Johnson. Leo Patterson to your left, and Young Henderson to your right. Dynamite fighters. Detroit's O'Neal Bell. Outstanding middleweight. California middleweight, Milo Savage. Very, very good fighter. Philadelphia middleweight, Billy Arnold. Light heavyweight, Lee Q. Murray. Light heavyweight, from New Haven, Al Gainer. Jamaican-born middleweight, Leroy Powell. Indian Death Pain, 129 fights, 6 losses. Very good fighter, 1913. Middleweight Roy Williams. Had his wars with Norman Williams and Charlie Burley. Syracuse welterweight, Johnny Nelson. Welterweight, Leroy Tiger Smith. Very hard puncher. Pacific Coast lightweight, Young Peter Jackson. He would be the welterweight color champion. Have his wars with Coco Kid. Charlie Cabby Lewis, Cuban featherweight. Murderous Little middleweight, Bert Littell. Fascinating fighter was Bert Littell. Big Bob Baker, dynamic puncher in the heavyweight division. Was ranked number 2 in 1956 for the heavyweight championship of the world. Freddie Dawson, pretty good fighter. Al Gainer, light heavyweight. Bernie Miller, lightweight. Eddie Blunt, heavyweight. Was in there with Primo Carnera, Buddy Bear, very good fighter. Murderous Row, welterweight and middleweight color champion. Outstanding Pittsburgh, Charlie Burley. I have this man ranked number 2 as the greatest Group 3 Murderous Row fighter, outside of Norman Williams. Ohio's Tommy Bell, welterweight, who would face Sugar Ray Robinson in 1946 for the vacant championship belt by Marty Servo. They would fight for the welterweight crown. Chick Suggs, Very good fighter. Was Chick Suggs. Colored Heavyweight Championship. O.B. Walker. 3-time title holder. One of the greatest fighters of all time. I have this man ranked number 4 of the greatest fighters in history of the game. Hammer and Henry Armstrong. One of the most heartbreaking fights of my life was with Armstrong and the great Sugar Ray Robinson. The passing of the torch. 2 of the greatest. Murderous low welterweight. Coco Kid. Greatest Puerto Rican fighter in the history of the game. I have him ranked number 3 as the greatest murderous low fighter in Group 3. Dynamite light heavyweight. Jimmy Bivens. Willie Joyce. Dynamic fighter. Had a great fight with Henry Armstrong. He was a lightweight. Tiger Jack Fox. Fascinating light heavyweight. Harry Bulldog. As you can see, Ozzie Bulldog Harris. Very good fighter out of Pittsburgh. Archie Moore. I have him the greatest light heavyweight champion of all times. I have him ranked number 6 of my all-time ranking system. Luther Slugger White. Very good lightweight. Jersey Joe Walcott. Heavyweight champion of the world when he knocks out Eddie Charles. (1951). Black Murderers Row. Elmer Valle. Fighting record of 86-15-1 and 73. Fantastic fighter. Along with Lloyd Marshall. Hard punching Bob Satterfield. Dynamite fighter. Eddie Charles. From Ohio. They called him the Cobra. He would become heavyweight champion of the world. Will defeat Joe Louis. One of the greatest fighters of all time. Dixie Kid. Fantastic welterweight. Become welterweight champion of the world after Joe Walcott, the Barbados Demon. Young Jack Thompson. Welterweight champion of the world. Would eventually face Jackie Fields. Perhaps the greatest fighter pound for pound in the business. The great Sugar Ray Robinson. Welterweight champion, free swinging, Johnny Bratton. Gil Turner, Philadelphia Slugger, dynamic welterweight.